we've talked about wide receivers, how important it is. Top free agent wide receivers 2022. Executives weigh in on ESPN.com. They refer to Mike Williams as the exotic option. One of the teams they see as a team to watch is the Browns. Could use a big-bodied target that can stretch the field. And you see, they also mentioned Jacksonville or Chicago. Chargers have $58.2 million cap space. They'd have to use about a third of it for Williams. They have a little bit better options behind them. What do you think, Mike Williams? That's not somebody that makes me jump up and down.
I think exotic is one of the stupidest words used to describe anything in sports. Now that that's out of the way. I like Mike Williams. He's inconsistent. Sometimes he looks really good. I mean, really good. And then he disappears for 4 weeks. That said, I'd still like to have him on our team because he's better than any wide receiver we have. So he's a guy I like a lot. I think Chris Godwin could be a tremendous asset to the Browns, the guy from Tampa Bay who's recovering from a torn ACL. So you'd have to deal with that. My guess is the way ACLs heal now, he'd be ready to go for the start of the season, but you would have to pay through the nose to get Chris Godwin. And I would be willing to do that for him. I think he's that good. And Allen Robinson, I like a lot too. And I think Robinson is a great second option if you don't get Godwin. You know, to me, Godwin's a guy that he takes care of your problem. He's your number one wide receiver. And Allen Robinson gives you a pretty decent guy, I think, to play wide receiver. I think he has great ability. And if it were Robinson or if it were Mike Williams, another sleeper on this list, Dave, Cedric Wilson in Dallas, who has really played well when been given the opportunity. And Michael Gallup went out with a torn ACL late in the season. Cedric Wilson stepped in and played really well. Jerry Jones is chirping about Amari Cooper there. So Wilson may not even make it into free agency. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas kept him, given their uncertainty with Michael Gallup's injury and apparently Jerry Jones not being real happy with Amari Cooper, who is another guy who's kind of inconsistent. You know, sometimes he really puts up huge numbers, and he does that about 4 times a year. And the rest of the time, he's okay. And so if I'm the Browns, I'm looking to Godwin and then Robinson, Mike Williams. And I definitely think, Dave, you need to go get one of those guys. I mean, that's an easy solution to a starting wide receiver. And I'm not going to rank them 1, 2, 3 or whatever. You get one of those guys, they're starting for you at wide receiver.
Yeah. And the flip side of it is, you mentioned they'd have to pay a lot for him. Remember, they're paying Jarvis Landry $15-some million. If they don't re-sign him,
that would do it.
There's probably, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. But if they don't re-sign Jarvis Landry, you can go out and get one of those top free agent wide receivers with that money, and it's basically a wash.